first thing we have to do is rewind the clock about 6 months ago. We have a message from the game director of Space Marine 2 talking about how, hey, we're all on for mods. Give us a bit of time and we'll hook you boys up. On Richtofen, we will hook you up. Just give us a bit of time. And everyone's like, yeah, all right, cool. And they wanted to make sure that mods weren't breaking the game for other people and all that type of stuff. That's why they needed a bit of time. Fast forward to today. Space Marine 2 Studio releases official toolkit to supporting modding. And do you know where they fucking did this? They put out this statement here in a modding Discord server. All right? So this is what it says here. Today marks our biggest milestone yet in supporting the modding community. Even the model exporters and 12-player co-op ops pale in comparison. We talked about that 12-player co-op mod last week, I believe, because as of today, we're releasing the official integration studio for public use. This is the exact same editor that we use internally for gameplay development. No more editing files in Notepad, and pray you didn't miss a bracket. Integration Studio makes editing anything SLS related 10 times faster, safer, and more intuitive. So there's a list of everything that you can do. And this is just scratching the surface of it. Level scenarios, game modes, individual blueprints, AI behavior trees, AI director, abilities, and melee combo logic. The list just goes on and on and on and on. And this is only the beginning. Not long ago, I promised we would support the modding scene, and we meant it. Watching this community grow, push boundaries, and create incredible experience has been both inspiring and humbling. We're excited to see what you build next, whether it's a cinematic campaign, wild new game mode, or something we never saw coming. Massive thanks to the brilliant and passionate folks at Saber who made this happen. List everyone, yada, 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 yep. Oh, and just to showcase the creative potential, I've included a concept for a fishing with Daddy Calgar minigame. So there he is there. Yes, technically possible thanks to these new mods. But do you know what they talked about as well in this? They talked about one example that they went on to bring in this is they're like, hey, a game like Skyrim is still relevant today because of its fucking modding scene. A game like Fallout New Vegas, still relevant because of its fucking modding scene. And they're like, we want Space Marine 2 to be like that. And they go on to talk about, well, the Warhammer 40k franchise has a lot of factions in it. You want to bring in the Necrons? Mod them in. You want to bring the Tau Empire? Mod them in. And ladies and gentlemen, the Horde mode isn't even out yet. Motherfuckers have access to the modding toolkit, and the Horde mode is not out yet. When they go on to say that they want the game to stay relevant like Skyrim, I think there's a pretty fucking strong chance of that being the case now. This comes from Warhammer 40k, which is a very well-established franchise. Space Marine 2, we'll just call it vanilla. Vanilla Space Marine 2 is a fantastic game. And now you've done this. And like he says here, full new, you could potentially create new cinematic campaigns. We've seen this be done time and time and time and time again. How many extra dungeons and campaigns are there in Skyrim? How many DLC-sized expansions have people Fallout created? Fallout fucking London is pretty much a standalone game at this stage. Yeah. It just goes on and on and on and on. And we've seen what people can do with Baldur's Gate 3. If you want a more recent example, have a look at Baldur's Gate 3. Here you go. Space Marine 2 gets that same treatment now. I think we've said it quite a few times that by all accounts, Saber they're well at the top. If you were going to talk about who's the best at the moment in the gaming industry, Saber has to be in that fucking conversation. All right. Yeah. And they're just solidifying their position. Ever since they broke away from Embracer, they've been fucking dick on the table, being like, all right, commence the suckling. And here they go, man. Once again, getting brown bitches galore, dude. I gotta give it to them, man. Well fucking done. This is huge. Like last week, we talked about that 12-player co-op that one modder had created. And he's like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. But now you can do all this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Saber, I am worried when it comes to them that they might have too much on their plate for games. And I will keep saying that if anyone can pull it off, I do think it's them. And this is one of the reasons why I meant they really do want people to enjoy their game, right? They're not really out there. You see some studios going out there trying to win awards. Me and Extra Zero were talking about this earlier. A studio like Remedy isn't a studio that tries to make games that you enjoy. They're trying to win awards. And it really is, I think it's really blatant with them, especially like Sam Lake always be. He's like a fucking gaming lolcow at this point. He comes out, gives a fucking handy to stiff ass knuck and then walks off, and it's like but people aren't enjoying your game, right? People are finding that game meh or bad, and there's a couple people who like it. With Space Marine, there's very few people who dislike it, right? There are people who do, and that's just because they don't like that type of genre game. If you like, really, dude, it just feels so fucking good to play that game. The game feels good. This is a game that I think people are going to go back to in 10 years and still be playing. I really do. And that's before they release the mod stuff. I think, like, out of this generation, I think the two biggest games that are going to have the most replayability are going to be Space Marine 2 and Baldur's Gate 3. I really do, out of everything. And that's not to say that there isn't great games. It's just, I think those two are going to be the standout, right? Something like Clair Obscura, a fantastic fucking game. It's great now. It's going to be great in the future looking back at it, I think. But I just don't, I really do think there's a higher level at Space Marine and with Baldur's Gate, Larian Studio hit.
The thing with Space Marine, though, is like 10 years from now, we could be like, hey, fuck it, let's play Space Marine 2. I haven't played that in a while. And everyone play it and be like, this was the shit, wasn't it? It's like when you go back and play like Gears 2 Horde mode with your friends 15 years later and you're like, oh, fuck, this was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's not just that, the story, too. How many people go back and play, like, old GTAs? There's a reason why people bought the Definitive Edition, so they can go back and play them. But even before then, people would attempt to run it on their PC, and Vice City ran like shit on PC. San Andreas was a little bit better. People would fucking go through hassles. They would go through hours of fucking troubleshooting just to play those games. I feel like Space Marine is going to be that game. Not necessarily the hours of troubleshooting, although, again, technology advances, right? I think there's obviously going to be problems with this game in the future. I don't think it's because of the game. I think it's just how Windows is going to operate. Windows as an operating system, when they move up, they tend to fuck up on compatibility for older programs, which is what we saw with Windows 7 to 10 from like XP and 6 to 7. So, I mean, it happens a lot, but this is a game that I think is going to be like Skyrim. I would say, honestly, Saber in a lot of ways has taken the place of Bethesda as being that kind of that studio you point to and be like, they fucking care. They really fucking care about what they're putting out. They care about the fans. And that's not to say that Bethesda doesn't care about the fans. I think they do, but the quality is dropped. Yeah, the quality is just dropped off immensely.